I think a lot of people mix up criticism with negativity. That's actually probably the number one thing people complain about with my content. It's legacy. All you do is complain, and truthfully, somebody has to do it. Of course, being positive and hyping up games is something I love to do. I did it for years with Red Dead Redemption 2, which is one of my favorite games of this generation, and I'm currently doing it with Cyberpunk 2077. I also have made top 10 and 25 lists of some of the best looking upcoming games over the years. Maybe soon I should make another video like that, but the thing is, in this gaming space, I'd argue for years a lot of games media and influencers have failed to draw enough attention to the bad practices of publishers like Electronic Arts and Activision. Many of them have simply been pawns contributing and enabling these companies' BS practices. That's partially why things have gotten so greedy in this industry, and why I believe many casual players don't understand or care about monetization being shoved down their throats. I got into an argument recently on Twitter with a multi-million subscriber YouTube channel who grew off of Call of Duty. He responded to an article from Kotaku saying Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered had the best loot boxes, and honestly, that pissed me off because there is no such thing as a good loot box. It's a gambling mechanic that has been proven in multiple studies to be psychologically manipulative and harmful. Also, this is a remaster. Why does a remaster get loot boxes? It's mind-boggling, but his response, he doesn't like the mechanic, but he feels we should just accept the reality that is loot boxes. This is also coming from the same person who has uploaded videos promoting loot box openings, directly profiting and contributing to this problem facing gaming. Now, I'm not putting this creator on blast because this isn't just on him. This is all the games media and influencers who will take the flight out to the next Activision event and hype up the next Call of Duty game pre-release and then just disappear when Activision starts to suck the player base dry post-release. And I'm being serious about that. Black Ops 4 is one of the worst and most disgusting offenders of pure evil greed, and for some reason nobody outside a few outlets and creators is talking about what is transpiring. In the past, Black Ops 4 has been roasted for selling a red dot reticle for $1, something in past games was a simple and easy unlock through gameplay. But this publisher loves to nickel and dime every aspect of the experience, and then there's the fact that microtransactions for this game was not added until a month after launch, once millions of copies were sold and reviews were already written. A sneaky way to avoid negative publicity that actually could hurt the performance of the game. But the latest example of Activision and Treyarch's greed is selling a single melee weapon, a hammer, for $30. Currently, there's a triple play quote-unquote deal available on the PlayStation 4 black market, in which for 2,800 COD points, you get the brand new lethal melee weapon, the Home Wrecker, which, as far as I understand, this is the only way to get this weapon. Now, to make this deal look a little less slimy, Activision threw in $10 worth of tiers for their greedy Fortnite ripoff of the Battle Pass, a weapon crate which features Mark II weapons that come with the good old XP boost, and then of course there's 10 loot boxes for you to open up. The community's reaction to this blatant cash grab is what one might expect. People are angry, making comparisons to past Call of Duties in which it was worth spending money on a DLC map pack, which, might I add, only cost, as far as I recall, $15. Look, there is no way to defend this greed. It's clear Activision and Treyarch's monetization designers or experts have worked overtime and studied all the ways they can get away with being anti-consumer. Oh, and also that $28 price tag or $30 price tag for this triple play is nearly the same price that you can pay to pick up Black Ops 4 off of Amazon, which just shows how ridiculous microtransactions, and I'm not even sure we can call those microtransactions anymore, what, mega transactions now, but they're getting ridiculous nowadays. Back only 6 years ago, within Call of Duty Ghosts, Infinity Ward charged $3.99 for a DLC weapon, but nowadays the price has only skyrocketed, and the thing is, Treyarch has been well documented as being one of the most anti-consumer developers under Activision and in gaming period. I say that because Black Ops 3 was really one of the first big pay-to-win loot box games around. Somehow Treyarch got away with putting all the new DLC weapons in loot crates, but obviously that could not continue after the whole Star Wars Battlefront 2 loot box debacle, and it did not. They smartened up and have somewhat gone cosmetic only in Black Ops 4. Now, what I find so remarkable is that Michael Condrey, a former executive at Activision and former head of Sledgehammer Games, recently took a shot at Treyarch for this greedy $30 melee weapon. He took to Twitter responding to someone who made a remark about microtransactions to him, and he said, to be clear, Advanced Warfare launched only with rewarded supply drops. We were driven by and at the service of providing fans more ways than just XP to earn rewards, customize their CAC, and express achievements in the virtual lobby. $30 for a melee weapon? Not on my watch. Which Condry trying to make himself look like the good guy fighting for consumers is rather interesting, because he was the studio head of Sledgehammer until February 2018, and Call of Duty World War II featured some of the most psychologically manipulative supply drops that I've ever seen. Having loot crates drop down in front of your face and making mission objectives forcing you to watch others open loot crates is not a good thing, just because they were cosmetic only. And plus it was leaked through in-game files that Sledgehammer had prepared weapon loot boxes, but you want to know what happened in late 2017 to disrupt that plan? Star Wars Battlefront 2, which Activision and Sledgehammer wisely threw their original plans out the window, and that game never received weapon loot boxes, but had there not been that massive controversy, I'd say it's likely those weapon crates would have been implemented. So yeah, Michael Condry taking a shot at Treyarch still is very interesting, even though it may be a little hypocritical, unless he knows something we don't, which could be the case. But honestly, everything about Black Ops 4 is just depressing. I mean, at its core it's an enjoyable game, but it's ruined and tarnished by Activision and Treyarch finding every possible way to monetize off of it. Like recently, St. Patrick's Day was celebrated worldwide, and Treyarch launched an event, Shamrock and Awe, celebrating the holiday in Black Ops 4, but of course they found a way to show little effort and be greedy. They did this by selling $20 worth of St. Patrick's Day themed cosmetic crap. This was quite frankly seen as a spit in fans' faces, because last year, Sledgehammer Games went above and beyond, giving a real proper change in theme briefly to Call of Duty World War II. There was new weapons that you didn't need to pay for, there was cosmetics that you could earn just by playing the game, there was also some St. Patrick's Day themed game modes, and then this year I think there was maybe one event, one new mode, 2 free things, a gesture and a calling card, and then this stupid $20 bundle. It's really quite pathetic what is happening and what feels like a lack of passion or care from Treyarch. But finally I get to circle back to the start of this video, because as I said, nobody is really talking about any of this BS. All of the gaming outlets and big influencers are nowhere to be found right now. I mean, here's an example, heading to the Google News page and typing in Black Ops 4 or Black Ops 4 Hammer or Black Ops 4 $30 Hammer. There's, I believe, an article from Eurogamer, Gaming Bolt, and maybe 2 or 3 other small sites that I haven't heard of. That's it covering this. Now, I'm going to use Kotaku as an example, but they still are talking about the game and hyping up certain features, but there's zero coverage on the current state and greed of this game. It's just amazing how much money this developer and publisher is and has been attempting to get out of consumers. We have the $50 Black Ops Season Pass, which has been heavily criticized by players because since the game launched in October, Treyarch has not exactly been very fast about adding new maps or really any good content to the multiplayer because, you know, Battle Royale gets all the attention these days. Oh, plus splitting up a player base is outdated and it never really worked, and it's not working right now for Black Ops 4. Free DLC maps is something that almost every other publisher and developer has leaned on in the last number of years, but not Activision because money. Now besides the season pass, we had the Fortnite-like battle pass, contraband, which instead of grinding the operations out, you can just pay $100 to achieve the top tier 100 and get everything right away, like new weapons, which one of them is conveniently placed as the last tier item. So you have to make sure to finish this operation in time or pay up, or will unfortunately miss out on this weapon, and to Treyarch's credit, they do give you enough time, but the fact that you can pay your way to the last tier day one, it's insulting and it's stupid. Now some of the other monetization in place includes the loot boxes or reserve crates, which cost 200 COD points, there's a black market shop with purchasable items, and then there's bundles. Overall though, if you're the biggest Call of Duty fan, likely you've already spent hundreds or maybe thousands on this game, which is absurd, but the ultimate goal set in stone. This developer and publisher doesn't care about the community or players, they just keep it simple and are blatant about their hunger for your hard-earned money. Most other companies claim microtransactions are needed for free post-launch support. This developer and publisher sells microtransactions and then sells more microtransactions for the actual post-launch content, but understand they know what they are doing. They know the dumbass sheep who will defend and encourage this cash grab attitude, and that's why this nonsense continues, and it will only get worse. There's hardcore fans creating concepts of a better monetization system, one that allows you to earn COD points by playing the game and completing challenges. See, other developers like Bethesda Game Studios have done this with Fallout 76, or even a game like Anthem being developed by BioWare allows you the option to use in-game currency currency to buy cosmetics, but Activision, no. Just the paid currency, and they won't ever consider something like this concept until players truly revolt and protest against their anti-consumer decisions. Oh, and another thing, Treyarch's word and promises aren't even good anymore, because when the loot boxes were introduced recently to Black Ops 4, I believe in February, many were upset to see Blackout characters tied to the loot boxes, which before the game launched, Treyarch studio design director David Vonderhaar said all the characters would be unlocked through gameplay, but only months after launch that changed, which enraged the community. Von's response pretty much is, things change, not my fault, blame Activision. Which at this point, I feel these studios need to be blamed just as much, because they certainly have a voice based off of what Michael Condrey said recently about the $30 hammer. But anyway, for what it's worth, I do suspect the pressure is on Treyarch to increase profits due to Bungie no longer being partnered with Activision with the Destiny franchise. Then there's Blizzard's live service games dropping in profits, and then of course Black Ops 4 not making enough sales at launch, which disappointed investors. Activision Blizzard, the actual name of this entire company, is desperate for revenue, and the easiest way to earn money is milking their most popular franchise, which is why Black Ops 4 keeps getting more and more microtransactions. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but it probably is hell, and if Blackout keeps falling in popularity, I only wonder what other crazy monetization schemes they'll implement. Now, with everything we discussed in this video in mind, this is why I'm nervous for Modern Warfare 4, which is the rumored Call of Duty game for this year. I truly feel microtransactions and over-monetization will ruin the potential for this unannounced game. I just do not trust Activision, and being their financial issues, that should have all of you concerned. A healthy and striving company doesn't fire 800 employees, or 8% of the company, and then increase the amount of microtransactions in their published games. They are in trouble. They grew to the top of this industry through greed, and as I said the other day with Electronic Arts, that is not a long-term plan that can work. But for now with Black Ops 4, if you still actively play the game, the best thing you can do is protest by not playing. Treyarch and Activision have showed time and time again they do not deserve your time and money. Go play something else and do not support or encourage this anti-consumer agenda, but it really is a shame with how disrespectful this company is towards consumers, and I think Activision is by far the worst publisher in this industry right now. They just don't seem to ever get the proper amount of coverage for all the nonsense they try to pull. But what do you guys and gals make of the mess that is Black Ops 4, and what are your expectations for Modern Warfare 4? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, but thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video or found any informative value, and make sure to follow my other social media accounts for updates on new videos. Links are always down in the description below. I'm most active on Twitter giving opinions on news that I don't always get into video form, so make sure to follow me over there. Also check out my Discord for all sorts of discussion on games, and again, thank you for joining. Consider subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you later.